On a cold November day in 1970, deep in the rugged mountains of Bergen, Norway, a gruesome discovery was made. A hiker and his two young daughters stumbled upon the burned remains of a woman, hidden in a remote valley known as Isdalen, the Ice Valley. Her fingerprints had been scorched away, all identifying labels on her belongings had been meticulously removed, and scattered around her body were peculiar objects. An empty bottle of sleeping pills, a broken umbrella, and several burned documents. This was not an ordinary crime scene, it was a mystery that would baffle investigators for over 50 years. Who was this woman? Why did she take such careful steps to erase her identity? And was she murdered, or was she a spy caught in a dangerous game? This is the chilling story of the Isdal Woman, Norway's most perplexing cold case. It was November 29, 1970, when a man and his daughters were hiking through Isdalen Valley, a remote area outside Bergen, Norway. The region was known for its eerie past. Locals often referred to it as Death Valley due to stories of hikers falling to their deaths and rumors of medieval witch trials. As they walked through the area, the girls suddenly noticed something strange among the rocks. A human body partially burned and lying in an unnatural position. The hiker immediately contacted police, and soon investigators arrived at the scene. The woman was lying on her back, her hands raised in what some officers described as a boxer's stance, a common position for victims of severe burns. Her clothes had been doused in gasoline and set on fire, and her fingerprints were missing, as if deliberately removed. Even stranger around her were bizarre items: a bottle of sleeping pills half empty, a bunch of burned paper with no identifiable text, a partially burned passport with its pages unreadable, a wristwatch stopped at an unknown time, and perhaps most disturbingly, a broken umbrella, which some investigators later believed could have been a covert signal. The circumstances were odd. At first glance, police considered the possibility of suicide, but the more they dug into the case, the more questions emerged. The first challenge for investigators was identifying the woman. There was no ID, no wallet, and no labels on any of her clothing. In fact, all identifying marks had been carefully cut out, suggesting that whoever this woman was, she didn't want to be found. But then came the first breakthrough. In her suitcase, found at Bergen railway station, police discovered a mysterious code written inside the lining. It appeared to be a series of letters and numbers, which investigators later deciphered as dates and locations across Europe. The evidence painted a strange picture. She had checked into several hotels across Norway, Germany, and the Netherlands, using at least 8 different identities. In every instance, she had registered under a false name and claimed different nationalities: French, Belgian, and even South African. Witnesses remembered her changing wigs, speaking multiple languages, and behaving cautiously, often asking for a room with a balcony and avoiding eye contact. This was no ordinary traveler. Many began to suspect she was a spy, possibly involved in Cold War espionage. As the details unfolded, theories began to surface about who the Isdal woman really was. Theory number 1. A Cold War spy. The Cold War was at its peak in 1970, and Bergen, Norway, was a strategic hotspot. The region housed top-secret naval bases and military testing sites, potential targets for espionage. The woman's use of multiple fake identities, her fluency in several languages, and her frequent travels to high-security areas led many to believe she was a covert operative, possibly working for Soviet intelligence. Even more chilling, some witnesses reported that she had been seen meeting with men in military uniforms shortly before her death. Was she eliminated because she knew too much? Theory number 2, an assassination. Others believe the woman was a defector or informant, and that she was silenced before she could reveal secrets. The removal of her fingerprints and labels could have been the work of professionals covering their tracks. Theory number 3, a suicide. Some investigators leaned toward suicide, citing the sleeping pills found at the scene, but this theory raises more questions than answers. Why would a suicidal person burn their own identification? Why the strategic use of fire? And why choose such a remote location? The circumstances pointed more toward a staged scene rather than a personal act of despair. Decades have passed, yet the true identity of the Isdal woman remains unknown. In 2017, a DNA analysis suggested she may have had European origins, possibly from France or Germany. But no missing person reports ever matched her description. Despite advancements in forensic technology and renewed interest in the case, we still don't know who was she, what was she doing in Norway, and was she murdered, or was she running from something far bigger? The case of the Isdal Woman remains one of Norway's greatest mysteries, a puzzle that, over 50 years later, continues to haunt investigators and true crime enthusiasts alike. Perhaps one day the truth will come to light. Until then, the Isdal Woman remains an enigma, a shadow lost in time. What do you think happened to the Isdal Woman? Was she a spy, a runaway, or the victim of something even more sinister? Drop your theories in the comments below, and if you love deep dives into unsolved mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more chilling true crime stories from True Crime Shadows of Justice. Thanks for watching, and remember, some mysteries are meant to stay in the shadows. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay safe.